wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club.
And for the record,
what?
I never said SZA was this generation's Mary J. Blige. Envy said that.
Yeah.
I said I don't even like to make those kind of comparisons because people don't hear you. They don't hear what you're saying when you say that. All I said was I'm not sure we appreciate the once in a generational talent that SZA is, and she is one of them. She's one of those.
Yeah,
she's one of those top tier, and when it's all said and done, going to be one of those all time greats.
Absolutely. And I think she has the influence of what Mary had when we were growing up. I see the same thing with these. I don't know if it's Generation Z, whatever they call themselves.
My daughter loves it.
But it's the same way that we love Mary is the way that they love SZA, whether they sing it, whether they play it at the clubs. I see the same identical way that Mary affected us, that she affects this generation.
My daughter's 15. She loves her.
See?
So, I mean, I can't, but I just don't like to do the comparison thing. Like you said yesterday, you don't like to do the comparison thing because people don't hear what you're saying.
Correct.
About the person we're talking about. I'm just saying SZA, when it's all said and done, she's going to be one of those top tier all-time greats.
Hands down. All right, well, let's get in some front page news. Now, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about these AI-generated robocalls.
Yeah, we've been talking about AI, and once again, this is an example of how dangerous it can be. Yesterday, the New Hampshire Attorney General said it was investigating reports of an apparent robocall that used artificial intelligence, which is what we're calling AI, to mimic President Joe Biden's voice and discourage voters in the state from coming to the polls during Tuesday's primary election. Take a listen to the actual robocall.
What a bunch of malarkey. We know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. We'll need your help in electing Democrats up and down the ticket. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday. If you would like to be removed from future calls, please press 2 now.
Wow. That is terrifying.
Wow.
And I don't see how you combat that.
You can't.
I don't see how you combat that. I don't know how you fight. I don't know how you fight that because it just sounds like a recording of the president's voice.
Leaving you a message, telling you what to do. Absolutely.
You listen to that. You're not thinking that's AI. You're just thinking it's a robocall, which is a recorded message from the president.
Yeah.
How do you combat that?
Yeah, I mean, you really can't. You can only go behind it and try to clean it up. But once the what they call the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's really hard to backtrack. So they are putting in the media that just in case anybody is confused, that the audio is not accurate and you can vote in today's primary. It does not stop you from voting in November. And this is just really dangerous because there's so much confusion around the election as well today, even on the Democrat side, which I'll explain here in a second. But I did want to say that Hannah Fareed, an expert at the digital forensics at the University of Carolina, Berkeley, reviewed the call and confirmed it was definitely low quality AI fake. He said that we have been concerned that this AI will be weaponized in the upcoming election, and we are seeing this surely as a sign of things to come. But he calls this low quality. But imagine somebody listening to this, it sounds pretty accurate.
That don't sound no low quality.
If that's low quality, what's high quality? Lord have mercy.
Right.
That's not low quality. And you can't tell the difference. The sad thing about it, like you said, even if they put out all these things on the news that was fake, a lot of people don't watch the news. A lot of people, they get them phone calls, they're working. When they come home, they're putting their kids to sleep, they're cooking and knocking out. They're not listening. They're not watching to see if it's real or not. So they're going to think those calls are absolutely 1,000% real. And it sounds like the president.
And you said something, Taz, and I like to update that saying for 2024. You can't put the toothpaste back in the YouTube. Once it's out there on the internet, it's out there. And then we spend so much time debating whether it's fake or not. And even if it is fake, it's always that shadow of a doubt inside of you that I don't know. I think you might just be telling me it's fake because you don't want me to believe the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I was trying to pull the clip, I didn't know, well, who can I get the clip from? Is that fake too? Is that another fake? It's just, even for media, it's going to be a hard time because we don't want to continue to put out fake information as well.
That's scary.
But I did want to give you an update quickly on the Republican side. Trump versus Haley will be tonight in the primary. The DNC decided not to have a Democrat primary. This is also what's confusing. So when you had these type of robocalls out with President Biden. You don't know if he's on the ballot, not on the ballot, but just want to let folks know that the DNC decided to go with South Carolina first for their primary, February 3rd. But New Hampshire said they don't care about that. They are holding an election anyway tonight for Democrats. President Biden will not be on the ballot, but his supporters are writing him in. But Democrat Representative Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson will be on the ballot tonight. And this is what they had to say in their final pitch.
Phillips telling a national audience today he's, quote, appalled Mr. Biden chose not to be on the ballot in New Hampshire. Phillips saying he knows the odds, but argues he had to get in this race because of the possibility of a Trump-Biden rematch.
And yes, we're a long shot. Darn right I am. Thank goodness we live in a country in which the long shot can have platform. And but for all of you and this great state, I never could have even tried.
Marianne Williamson running for president for the second time. She says her economic agenda would allow her to beat Trump. And she says Granite Staters are paying attention and making up their minds now.
Well, it's very obvious that a lot of Granite Staters wait until the last minute to make their decision. Maybe that's unique to this particular year because there's so much turmoil and people are trying to sort of figure out the landscape.
I feel based on the way Biden is polling, he needs to be on all these ballots. I'm not sure he has the luxury of not being on these ballots.
Not at all.
But we'll see the results tomorrow. But that just gives you just how confusing this is. You got AI calls out there making fake calls. You got a Democrat primary. On the Democrat side, there's not really a primary that they're going to acknowledge. You got people telling people to write people in, don't write people in. It's just a mess. So folks need to definitely stay tapped into to figure out what's going on, and we'll have the results tomorrow to break it all down for you.
We told y'all this was going to be a cluster F. We told y'all this last year. If you didn't see what was coming in 2024, you are insane. The misinformation is ridiculous. The journalism is lazy. Everybody's being irresponsible. It's going to be something to behold in 2024.
All right.
I hope we make it.
Well, that is front page news. Now, what are we talking next hour?
Yeah, more mess. The Supreme Court went against Texas and said you need to cut down the razor barbed wire that's keeping illegal immigrants from crossing over. Texas said this is not over. So big fight at the border. We'll talk about it at 7 o'clock.
All right. We'll see you in an hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Let's start off with some quick sports. Joel Embiid, last night he scored 70 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. Karl Anthony Towns scored 62 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And it was the 18-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81-point game against the Raptors.
Yeah, I watched the Joel Embiid game and the Karl Anthony Towns game. I didn't know it was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81 points, but I just woke up this morning feeling like I'll give everybody buckets. Okay. Like I was watching that game last night. I was like, yo, I'll watch Joel Embiid. I'll watch Karl Anthony Towns, all below the rim game. Easy money. Bet on me.
Okay. Hey, Tez. Nobody believes him. Good morning, Tez.
I believe in myself.
Okay. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ. Good morning, Charlamagne.
Peace, Ted.
Let's talk about the Supreme Court this morning.
Yeah, the Supreme Court, this border crisis is not going away, guys. I mean, it's really, really not. It's becoming more and more of an issue. And the Supreme Court had to step in to resolve a dispute about the razor wire at the border. Take a listen.
The Supreme Court ruling in favor of removing sharp razor wire installed by Texas and rivers along the border between U.S. and Mexico. The 5-4 vote now clears the way for federal agents to actually cut down the wire, which administration officials have called dangerous and inhumane.
Now, this razor wire fencing was installed along the Rio Grande River by Texas authorities, a part of a program they call Operation Lone Star. It was an effort launched by Republican Governor Greg Abbott in 2021 to curb illegal immigration. And Monday's decision was immediately appealed by the governor. He posted this on Twitter. He said, "This is not over. Texas razor wire is an effective deterrent to the illegal crossing that Biden encourages. I will continue to defend Texas constitutional authority to secure the border and prevent the Biden administration from destroying our property." Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton also said that the Supreme Court's decision temporary order allows Biden to continue his illegal effort to aid foreign invasion of America. The destruction of Texas borders will not help enforce the law or keep Americans safe. He said this fight is not over, and he looks forward to defending our state's sovereignty. Now, last Friday, President Biden did say, that the border is not secure. He says that is why he continues to ask Congress for more money to fix it. He also said he's willing to work with Republicans, and here's his message.
The question is for the Speaker and the House Republicans. Are they ready to act as well? They have to choose whether they want to solve a problem or keep weaponizing the issue to score political points against the president. I'm ready to solve the problem. I really am. Massive changes, and I mean it sincerely.
Nothing is going to get done in regards to immigration until Republicans and Democrats can get on the same page. And, you heard President Biden say he's ready to solve the problem. There is a problem at the border. Saying there is a problem at the border is not a right-wing talking point. A lot of idiots will say things like that's MAGA messaging, but it's not. Have some conversations with folks in these sanctuary cities, like New York and Chicago, and ask them how they feel about what's going on at the border. Ask them how, their lives are being inconvenienced, and see what they say. Because I over the past year, people have come up to me here in New York City, and one conversation in particular, and Envy, I told you this months ago, this one person came up to me in tears, bawling, because of what is happening in his neighborhood as a result of what's going on at the border. So these aren't, right-wing talking points. This isn't MAGA messaging. This is just, sitting down, having conversations with people who are in these sanctuary cities being inconvenienced, by the migrants.
But it sounds like it's bullcrap, right? And the reason it sounds like it's bullcrap is we've been having issues with the border for over 50 years?
Forever.
100 years? So, it's like, well, we got to fix the problem with the border. We've been had these problems, and they had money to allocate it. They had time to fix it. They had time to try to understand and control it, but they don't care about making it better. They talk about it when it's an election year, and then when the election year is over, they let things die down and let things go. It's the same thing when we talk about, health care for all. They talk about it during the election year. After election year, we don't hear them talk about it anymore. Same thing when they talk about school debt and all that. You hear it election year, and then when it's time for re-election, then you start getting them emails that say, hey, your student loan has been accepted, has been paid. But it's been 3 years, and we hardly hear about none of the things that really matter to us.
Well, President Biden is right, though. It has been politicized. The border has been politicized and weaponized. But if you really care about the people, Republicans and Democrats, y'all will get on the same page and get something done.
Right. Well, but and again, Democrat Mayor Brandon Johnson, Democrat Mayor New York mayor said that it is a problem at the border. So, I mean, it's confirmed it is a problem. And now they're having to deal with the problem. And so now that they're having to deal with the problem, they're saying it's a migrant problem. So, again, people can say it's a MAGA talking point or a Democrat talking point, whatever it is. The bottom line is it's a talking point. And somebody needs to fix it and need to get on the same page. And yes, President Biden, they will continue to weaponize this. This is how Republicans move. When will Democrats get it? This is how they move. They don't give a damn about you talking about it. I'm really trying to fix it. They're going to continue to keep dropping off migrants in some of these sanctuary cities until they force you to get on the same page. And so we're just going to see who's going to fold at the end of the day. Charlamagne, is it going to be the Democrats? It's going to be Republicans. But it looks like they're not stopping.
And listen, as inhumane and cruel as, them putting those migrants on those buses and putting them on planes and dropping them off in Martha's Vineyard and dropping them off in other sanctuary cities, dropping them off in front of Vice President's house, as inhumane and cruel as that was, it was very, very effective. Because when you had the Democrats, like the Vice President Kamala Harris and the Mayor Eric Adams and, others saying things like, hey, we welcome y'all into our sanctuary cities. Come. And then as it started to become a problem, and they had to be like, whoa, don't come. This is an issue. This is the problem. We can't handle it. It makes it seem like Republicans were right on the issue from the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. Just on the surface. If you're just looking at the situation, it makes it seem like Republicans were right on the issue from the beginning. But once again, Republicans and Democrats have to come together, get on the same page to put some comprehensive immigration reform on the books.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, Tez.
No problem.
And make sure you follow at Teslin Figaro on all social media platforms and subscribe to at Teslin Figaro, her podcast, the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.